Now, over the past week, a YouTuber by the name of iilluminaughtii has been called out relentlessly over on Twitter, and it all stemmed from her trying to call somebody else out for plagiarizing some of her editing styles, and it was a channel called Legal Eagle. Now, if you don't even know who iilluminaughtii is, she makes documentary style videos, kind of like my main channel video, but you know, more high quality. And if I even try to do her type of editing, then she'll probably try to say that I plagiarized her as well. But this whole drama has been covered relentlessly, and at first I didn't want to cover it because there's other people like Sensitive Society, Cheeto, Jalen. They all covered this situation, so I wasn't really going to put my 2 cents into it if it's been covered relentlessly. But there are some things that I wanted to add in that they didn't, so I wanted to just make this video just to add in my 2 cents about the whole situation. About a week ago, iilluminaughtii called out a channel called Legal Eagle for kind of copying or plagiarizing her editing style, and she did this in a series of tweets calling out Legal Eagle and how his editing team actually reached out to her to see if they could use her editing style, and when she said no, or when her team said no, then they apparently plagiarized her editing. And I'm saying plagiarized in quotation marks because obviously it's, you know, it's not plagiarizing, it's YouTube. Everybody uses the same editing style, from news sources to SunV2 to Legal Eagle. They all do the same exact editing style. Now again, these series of tweets by iilluminaughtii, her real name's Blair, so I might as well just call her Blair. Blair's Twitter thread was actually deleted. She deleted it probably a couple days ago after all the backlash that she received. And during one of those tweets, I'm pretty sure it's the one that she started out with, it said, "Not at Legal Eagle editors broaching my editors to take my video style, and when they didn't give up the info, they literally copied it. And by the way, I have the messages from my editors and found an email from them too. Just change the color from purple to blue, huh? Interesting." Now, she did show screenshots of how they allegedly copied her editing style, but it was pretty much the same basic editing style that every big documentary channel uses, like highlighting the words or cutting off the paper, or just making it look more stylistic. But she's somebody that is so stuck in her own ways and stuck into her own mind that she felt like that was her editing style. And it's kind of like if you think back to like 2016 or 2015 when the Fine Bros wanted to copyright the genre of React and how they want to do like React World. So it's pretty much like that, where she feels like the world should revolve around her. And we'll get more into that later on when I talk about the tweets that are coming out against her from her former friends and people that used to work with her. Now, I thought these series of tweets from Blair were kind of odd, and I thought they were pretty stupid at the same time because everybody, again, uses the same editing style, and if you don't, it really makes your channel kind of struggle. Just take me, for example. I don't use that same type of editing for my main channel, and I kind of changed it up, but I'm not as big as iilluminaughtii is. But all the editing that is in my channel, I don't copyright it or tell somebody that they're plagiarizing if they take it. So it's just kind of nuts to me that she would go way outside of her space, her sphere that she's in, her personal bubble, to call out another creator just because he asked to use her editing style. And it's good enough that you even ask. Some people just take it. And obviously it doesn't even matter if they take it because it's YouTube. It's better than him taking your editing style instead of taking all your ideas, which has been done to me before. Now, Legal Eagle went on to quote tweet her original tweet and said, "Hey iilluminaughtii, I think this is a big misunderstanding. Perhaps great minds think alike. No one on my team is trying to copy you. Without an exhaustive review of your channel, I believe we used those 2 styles before your channel did. We've used them for 3 to 4 years. Plus the 2 styles, a pseudo paper rip and a highlight, are extremely common on YouTube. The editor you're talking about didn't even design either of those 2 elements. Again, we've used them for 3 to 4 years at this point. Danny is a great and thorough editor. When he reached out via email, he was just hoping to find out what plugin your team used on a particular video, a very common practice among editors. He was not looking to copy anyone's style. Danny is a freelancer who makes his own videos. In the Discord, the video he referenced was about your subject matter, not your style. He's a fan of yours. The video he was referencing was a video of your own, not a Legal Eagle video. Here's the end of the Discord chat that Danny provided to me. He was trying to edit a video of his own using only DaVinci Resolve. He was just looking for technical help and then thanked everyone anyways. YouTube is great because it's collaborative and the rising tide raises all ships. My team and I always try to provide original, high quality, informative content. We try to help others when they ask for it. There aren't really any trade secrets around here. I didn't know that Danny reached out to you, but I don't fault him for doing so. If anything, I think everyone on the platform should be more open and sharing. Anyway, if you feel differently and you want to hash it out, my DMs are open. Now, this was a great response to the drama by Legal Eagle, and obviously he's part of a legal team. He's literally a lawyer, so this is probably the best person to retweet and kind of plead his case to Illuminati, because he's a lawyer and he knows how to defend himself. And after this, just a whole plethora of people just started coming out about the drama and started to put their 2 cents into everything that was going on. The Click was another person that also like spoke about the drama and how he was treated behind the scenes, and it was kind of insane the amount of things that Blair put him through throughout the whole entire situation. The Click was part of this collaborative group called Sad Milk, and she was a part of that group as well. And he went on Twitter and put this huge Twitter thread up with like 16 different tweets and said a bunch of things about his experience working with her. So I'll just go off and kind of talk about it and give my 2 cents about it later on. So he goes on to say, "Hiya peeps, I've seen the recent drama regarding Illuminati, and I would like to clarify I am not affiliated with her and I haven't been for over 2 years. I left her and her collaborative group, Sad Milk, due to similar behavior as seen in the recent events. Lashing out at friends and fans, paranoia, and generally poor anger management, to name a few. Eventually, I believe pretty much the whole group left her. The last meeting I ever had with her, she spent half an hour, I think hard to know, screaming at me for an array of random things, calling me a bad friend, lazy, and a bunch of random accusations that didn't really have anything to do with me. There was no way you can have the resume you claim and be this fucking stupid," and so on. No one even raised their voice back at her. I left along with several other members, half the group at the time. She spent the next few months spreading lies and half-truths about us on the Sad Milk Reddit page and Vogue posts on Twitter. I still have all the screenshots. She would turn friends against you or specifically team up with people she knew didn't like you, so she had allies against you, rallying mainly banned problematic community members known to be liars and conflict seekers. When people started questioning that maybe she was the reason everyone left, there was a very convenient updigging of 11 to 14-year-old videos of me, stuff I made back when I started my channel in 2009, when I was a teenager. And as you all can probably guess, some of the jokes from that time aged like milk. I publicly owned up to the past mistakes and apologized, doing my best to be transparent and honest about my past. She would still harp on it, ignoring the fact that it had already been addressed, trying to direct as much attention to it as possible, publicly stating it was a bad apology, along with Vogue posting about it in the comments of the collaborative channel. Maybe in an attempt to get people to assume I had been kicked out for poor behavior rather than leave because of her own behavior. She assumed it was her, she had channel access, also liked to pull what I can only describe as very petty acts of revenge. For example, some people left comments on the collaborative channel saying good that he clicked left. They obviously got ratioed hard as people were there for the creators. She would manually go in and delete ratioing comments but leave the original hate comment. She tried to gain control of my Discord when it surpassed hers in size by tossing around accusations at staff and trying to get rid of my team and replacing it with hers, giving me the ultimatum to fire my entire senior team or be publicly fired from Sad Milk myself. I was still a YouTube freshie at the time, and she was quite intimidating, claiming connections and clout, reputation, and powerful friends. So everyone stayed mostly quiet and had constantly looked over the shoulders for the next year. None of us even mentioning the whole thing. We were even worried talking in our own Discords as it became apparent she had spies within our moderation ranks. We were just hoping we wouldn't have our reputation completely destroyed for simply walking away. This is just a brief summary of tweets. It's sad that she hasn't changed. Alright, now going back to the point where Click said that she would flex her reputation and the clout and everything else against them and against him as like a YouTube freshman, then I just have to say, if you're a big YouTuber and you try to flex that you have this amount of clout or you have this amount of reputation and people will take your side on anything, you're just not a good YouTuber at that point. I go around and people are like, wow, you're like so famous, blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I'm just a regular person behind a camera, or well, not behind a camera, but behind a screen who just makes videos for fun. And if you think that you're better than somebody because of that, then that is completely out of line, because at the end of the day, you're not a celebrity, you're just somebody that made it big on YouTube. And of course, there is somewhat a celebrity status on YouTube where if you hit like 1 million subscribers, people are more intimidated to talk to you. And of course, that can feed in your own ego, but her ego is massive at this point to say that she had reputation and clout and she could pretty much destroy their careers if she wanted to. It's just something to hold over their heads in case they ever went out of line, and that's a very toxic behavior, and you shouldn't really have that on YouTube. Now, before I give my full opinions on everything, I want to read out one more thread from another member that was on Sad Milk or in Sad Milk, and just talk about everything that they've been through as well, and kind of consolidate it into one big opinion on the whole situation. Now, someone who used to work as an editor for Illuminaughtii would quote tweet Clix's original thread. Their name on YouTube is WanderstruckYT, and they went on to tweet a series of tweets within a thread talking about their experience with Blair. So they went on to say, "Forgive me for this being scattered, emotions and all, gotta love them." A Sad Milk thread. After being threatened with a breach for speaking out, I can confirm that the behavior Blair exhibits is entirely accurate here. I am aware of the bridges I burned, and I remain where I am. After Sad Milk split, it was a constant negative echo chamber that I took part in. Regardless, I used to edit for Sad Milk. Blair made no effort to take direction. She made everything about herself. Sad Milk at the time was the nearest thing to family I had, which sounds pathetic, but the content creator space is a very isolating one. The amount of hours I would spend online making drafts, editor tutorials for new hires, staying up trying to get some editing in if editors were short-handed. I missed Christmas with my brother and father fixing the mistakes of the editor she hired, and I didn't even get a thank you. And it took me more than half a month to even get paid. Meanwhile, she delays payments to editors so she can purchase expensive clothes, visit BMW dealerships, and spend hundreds on food in a day. While I do hold my beliefs towards certain matters, every month or so there was a new villain of the week. And they would one second be a normal person in our lives, and the next second suddenly a hidden monster through, you guessed it, Blair's mouth. To say Sad Milk split on creative differences is a joke. It's a flat out lie. Again, I'm aware of the bridges burned, but I can confirm that call took place where she screamed, cursed, and had a meltdown towards not the clique and one topic at a time. It was a train wreck. It was just supposed to be a fun group project, and we had become profitable, even to a small extent. Blair wanted creative lead, and we went from doing fun creative topics more in line with the Reddit we would all cover on our own channels to doing an unenthusiastic view content. Blair took control and wouldn't listen to how the videos should be made, and so we got hyper loud music with childlike spirits paired with adult humor, which just made being a part of Sad Milk humiliating. My friends and I watched SM and laughed not at the content, but how awful it had become. Not due to anyone not being entertaining, but the lack of quality control. It is an editorial nightmare. It's why, in part, I stopped editing because my really well-made content got roped into that by proxy. Blair did not care. It was hers, and everyone who dared to try and take the reins was a threat. After Click, OT, and Salty left, I did almost all of the heavy lifting, which is a thankless job for being small on the internet. I tried making us schedules. I motivated Blair during another mental breakdown of hers to not delete the channel or the Discord, since I actively read through the comments on both, and we had people who we mattered to. After months of behind the scenes insults towards Click and OT, it became so stale and negative. Yeah, we all took part, but after going on so long, it just became day after day. Blair would sit and check Click and OT's social blade. She would make fake accounts to stalk them. Not just them, but a large portion of the commentary community. I've personally seen her try to get her lawyer to shut down anyone who says anything against her, and they ruin her day by saying, yeah, we can't really do anything. It's insane. Innocent people don't work so hard to try and silence others. We would get no work done. I can't count how many times I pleaded and set up meetings for us to do something, and nobody cared. I thought I had a friend who was hurting. Then I saw I had moved to villain. And like everyone else, I got shut out, trash talked, and the people I had made efforts to be friends with wouldn't even acknowledge my existence. For me though, I had already moved states under good faith. I was bettering my life. In 30 days of living with Blair, it was a nightmare. I felt like I was trapped in her home always. She makes everyone her enemy. She called Wonder checking in to see if I'm okay an invasion of privacy. I sent numerous messages trying to show I wanted to be her friend. She lives like an actual monster. Her home is a mess, like hoarder's bed. Constant subtweets about me on Twitter and ignoring me, and if I dare say anything back, her Discord manager would happily remind me of my contract. This is disgusting. So my therapist, who she accused me of stealing because she recommended, suggested that I leave the house at all costs, and I did. And the details I can't get into further due to legalities, but I ended up with no car, hardly any clothes, and money to my name, and no home. Now working full time again, I had no time for my channel. I had cried, bled, and worked through hell to get up. So I watched it die since my main concern now was food on my table. All because I made friends with one of the most vile people on the platform. Nobody wanted to talk with me, and I was too afraid to go full public as I didn't know the reach this massive creator had. I had everything IRL and online taken from me. She personally threw my YouTube play button in the trash. If that isn't symbolic, man, I don't know what is. I've spent the last 2 years of my life rebuilding from the ground up due to this woman. The only difference is I get to come back stronger as a person. She doesn't. She can't take that away from everyone she has screwed over. Blair, you can't hide anymore. Sooner or later, you were going to push everyone who cared about you away, and you'd realize that the world isn't out to get you. But you made your fears a reality all on your own. I'm not afraid of you. You don't get that from me anymore. Never again. So these are tweets from two of the people that she had a collaborative group with, and they both stated that she was a horrible person behind the scenes and made it seem like everybody was out to get her. But not only that she was a horrible person, but that she also tried to stalk some of the people that left the group in the first place and go into the collaborative channel and delete comments that ratioed other people in order to just make it seem like the people who left the group did it because they got kicked out and not because they actually left the group on their own accord, which is something that's really toxic because you're now putting the blame on them instead of putting the blame on yourself. And that's just a manipulative behavior that people really can't get behind. This is something that was hidden in the dark for so long, and Blair finally, after one stupid tweet, got the Uno reverse card played on her, and instead of having her followers go cancel Legal Eagle, she is now being canceled for some of the things that she was doing behind the scenes. This is why I say time and time again, if you're a big YouTuber or want to grow on YouTube, don't make your whole personality of being this person that has a reputation who can just bury anybody just off of one tweet. Because at the end of the day, if you're not on your P's and Q's, somebody else can just call you out as well. Now, I don't know what happens to Blair's channel after this. I don't know if she loses followers. If this video does good, maybe I'll do a longer form video on all the controversy that she's been in throughout her time on the platform on the main channel. Let me know in the comments below. This is all my opinion on it. I think it's very just dumb that she would use her clout and fan base against people and then make everybody else seem like a horrible person whenever she's mad at them. Trust me, I have people in my life that act like that already. So imagine being somebody that has a huge following doing it to a bigger audience as well. And just to say that she's stalking people, it's pretty insane to me, to be honest. There's a lot of better things that you could be doing with your time. This is all for me. I wanted to say thank you all for watching, and if you like the channel, please subscribe to it. We're on the road to 10,000, and go check out the main channel. I got a brand new video up there, and I'll leave it linked in the comments below. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.